Enters the top cut from Group 2. It's Mist versus Moot here. And let's check these games out. Are we going to see the Ritual Beast strategy from Mist? He has been very, very famous for that. We haven't seen it this tournament. Is he even bringing it to the tournament?
This is a very good question, and we might see that in a few minutes. But for now, this is Moot starting the plays, and he's starting with the Fenrir, then going through the Millennium cards, and we see the Maxi right there. So he's gonna have to think a lot about his plays.
What a card. Sangjin is going to be activated. Is it resolving here? I don't think that Moot has an answer. I wanted to say the German word Antwort. The answer for the Maxi, and that is big for Mist, because a resolving Maxi, that's most of the time the end of a turn. The good thing for Moot is that he has the Fenrir on the field already, so that's kind of a soft interruption here. If you want to stop playing here, you kind of can, maybe if you can back it up with some hand traps as well.
Totally. I talked about that with Moot, and he told me that he had a really good answer to just play through Maxi. So let's see if he has what it takes to just put a field.
Something to play through Maxi. So far, he has given the Maxi 2 cards already. Summons back Lurry. There is a chance that we're just going to see an IP Masquerade. Duel and Lockbird, of course, solves that problem. However, there is 6 cards in Mist's hand. So there is something going for Mist. He already has a head start of 1 card. Now Requiem is being activated. Moot is also still now under Duel and Lockbird. So even though Mist doesn't get any draws, Ash Blossom on the Requiem is huge. But something like a Salik in the graveyard, it can't trigger anymore.
Yeah, but he will probably be able to continue and keep playing. Let's see if he has something like, for example, Tearlament Kashtir or something like that.
Yeah, he searched the Tearlament's Kashtir earlier, but what are the best draws that you can get off of that? Let's see, we're linking off the Fenrir, so there has to be something very impactful for him. Yeah, goes into Moon, but we have just activated the Requiem. We activate Track now to fusion the Moon and a card from hand here. That is very, very neat. Takes the Tearlament's Kashtir. Oh no, it's a Fiendsmith Engraver from hand, of course.
And going to summon Lacrima, then he's going to summon back the Engraver, and of course he's probably gonna go to Beatrice, which is a really great card in the Tearlament strategy, because you can not only use it on your turn, but also on the opponent's turn, contrary to, for example, Snake Eye strategy.
Yep, and what's also cool is that you can send something like a Tearlament's Rhino Heart. That is very, very strong. If you have another Tearlament's card in hand, of course, Kit Colors, not as strong as it should be under Duel and Lockbird. So what you can basically do is with the card, you can send resources to the graveyard, or cards that should trigger immediately. So you can always have a free roll Colors, but it is still not that easy. The Duel and Lockbird stopping Mist from drawing more cards. But Mist has interrupted the combo so much. He's basically got his opponent under Duel and Lockbird, and he has ashed something, and he's still on 5 cards. It's like he didn't do anything. Totally.
It is a really good situation for me. I think that Mist is pretty fine, because there's only 1 card left in Moot's hand. Yeah. So let's see what he can do.
Earlier we've seen Moot combo off a lot and then ending on no cards in hand. We're very close there. Yeah, Beatrice. Is it a Tearlament's card in the graveyard? Can we go for a Rhino Heart play? Rhino Heart is being set, and I think that is the answer already. Or we are setting up a fusion on the next turn. Nope. What are we going to discard? Oh, of course, we have the Tearlament's Kashtira, and that's a very, very neat combination, because you just have to have a Tearlament's card. You can chain Tearlament's Kashtira, special summon it out, and then you get the Rhino Heart for free.
Absolutely, because it checks on resolution. So he's going to have the bodies of the Kashtira cards, and now he's going to send with the Tearlament Rhino Heart. Slowly but surely, he's building his field.
Yep, Tearlament is also one of my favorite decks there. Oh, what a mill! Ash Blossom, and triple tactic talents.
Amazing, right?
Yeah, those cards usually go hand in hand as well. Now Harvest is being activated. I wonder if the Rhino Heart is being used. Nope, that makes sense, because it would be banished, and you can maybe use that for a possible Time Thief redoer later on the field to preserve it a little bit. Kid Colors is now being activated. What do we have in graveyard? We can check this now. If you're going to send a possible Shiren to the graveyard, can you fusion summon a Mud Dragon of the Swamp with it?
that might be the case. I think that he's going to do that. He's summoning back the Sharon using the Kid Kalos effect, and now Kid Kalos will be able to put 5 more cards in the graveyard.
We hit the Fairy Tale Snow with the Kid Kalos effect. That is the prime card that you want to have in your graveyard. This card has caused fear and terror in the TCG in previous formats, and now it is still in Master Duel in the Teal Elements deck being sent to the graveyard. Such a strong card here. Players love to play this card out. Requiem is now being activated as well, supporting the Fiendsmith Engraver with 500 additional attack points. We can go for a Time Thief redoer with the Shiren and the Rhinoheart.
What is very
nice
cool
feel.
is that now he's able to target his own Sharon so that he's able to fuse. That is a really cool interaction.
Yeah. Now we're going to see a World Colors, possibly because we have the Kid Colors in the graveyard. Exactly. We also still, I don't know if we have the extra deck space for it, to be honest, but we have 2 Fiend level 6 monsters, so a Caesar would be possible here. I don't know, have we seen a Caesar before from Moot?
I don't think so, but we might see it right now. Let's see what he does.
I mean, we're linking those two. We have Sequence, of course, still in our extra deck. We haven't even used that one because we have Fusion summoned with Track before. And we know that Moot is playing the Desiree, so that is pretty strong. If you're wondering what you can do with the Rhinoheart here, you can also later on link it off with the Fiendsmith Sequence and go into an SP Little Knight, which would not be the greatest of all interactions, just to have the second effect of SP, but you get use out of the Sequence body, and it won him the last game where he played it. It was really came down to every single interaction. Desiree is now on the field. Can't negate anything yet, but
it will soon. It will soon. And slowly, you see that Moot is building his field. So he has now 2 interruptions with the Desiree and the Volcalos. And he might go to the play that you just said. But for now, he's just bringing the snow on the field.
That is also pretty nice. I wonder if we're going to see something like a Time Thief redoer, because if you don't have any Telement cards in hand, Reinhardt isn't as strong. We just go Appaloosa. That makes total sense as well.
This is gonna be it. He's going to summon the Appaloosa Bow of the Goddess, and this is a really good interruptions, of course, because he will now be able to interrupt 3 times the monster effects of Mist.
Yeah. Also has Desiree for 2 negations at the same time, the Roll Colors, and Beatrice, Lady of the Eternal, doesn't have the greatest targets in the graveyard necessarily to go for a fusion summon. However, we've seen that he's running the Black Cloud Jalafs, which is a good target for Beatrice. If your opponent, for example, summons a monster to the field that needs to activate the effect manually during the main phase, not unsummon. Now we have the Ritual Beast Tamer Elder on the side of Mist.
You talked about that earlier, and you were wondering if Mist, who is very well known for his deck, his Ritual Beast deck, would bring this deck, and here it is. He's starting to try to break the field, but Moot has a very strong field, let's be honest.
Yep, this is not necessarily the strength of the Ritual Beast deck to break fields here, and let's see how well Moot knows his Ritual Beast cards, because it's also very important that you interact with the deck at the right time, that you don't give any breathing room to the Ritual Beast player. And now we have an Elder on the field, we have Rampangu on the field. What's next for Mist? How is it possible that there's an Ulti Canuck? No, we have the Ritual Beast Ulti Apelio. This one has a nice effect during an attack, so it's unaffected by card effects until the end of damage step.
And this is pretty cool because one thing which is really interesting is that it can get back to the extra deck by cost, which is really important. You have to know that when you are facing some Ritual Beast, otherwise you might get surprised. But for now, he is going into the battle phase and trying to attack the Appaloosa. Of course, the Appaloosa is really hard for him to deal with. He doesn't want it to stay on the field, and he is going to get rid of it.
Appaloosa already got 1 negate out. Ulti Apelio takes care of the next one. Battle phase is already gone now, so Moot knows he has another turn at least. Lara is now going to be activated, and they of course also have the effect of the Ulti Apelio to tag out later on and summon 2 of the banished monsters back into defense position. Now Rampangu is being summoned from hand.
And we see the Beatrice getting activated. What is he gonna send?
Is it the goat? Is it
I
the
think
black
so.
goat loves? Because
would
the
make
first,
sense.
Yeah, the first Rampango was negated, but you can always activate this card again. It is not hard once per turn. The black goat loves is being used here, banished from the graveyard.
And we see Moot choosing the name of the monster.
Now he's trying to get it out. Spiritual Beast, Rampango immediately selected here. So that brings us down to Rule Colors negate, Desiree negate, and of course a Snow in the graveyard. However, Snow has 5 other cards in the graveyard to banish, possibly a Sequence, but that would have to be later. Nacho Jago is being summoned. So the Snow is like a last resort now. It would be very costly.
Will he be able to break the field? That is the question. And now he's going to use another interactions trying to prevent the summon back with the Roll Colossus.
Yep, and Desiree is just still chilling there. We have 2 cards in hand for Mist as well. And Moot is already at the last piece of interaction here. Almost the last piece. There is still a Snow, but Snow is so tough to use in this position. You basically have to banish your Rule Colors. And we immediately tag out to the ulti Apelio here.
And this is really strong because now he can just bring it back.
Alright, Nacho Drago is still sitting there. This one can only special summon 1 of the monsters. Therefore, it's so much easier to summon by banishing 2 from the graveyard. Lara and Rampango on the field here. So Rampango is just chilling. This is the first special summon of the Spiritual Beast Rampango this turn, because the way that Spiritual Beast locks is pretty funny. Most of the extra deck monsters in modern decks, basically, they just say you can only special summon this card once per turn. But in this deck, you can do whatever you want with your extra deck. But your main deck monsters, they can only be special summoned once per turn.
And now he's getting rid of the Roll Colossus. Of course, the Roll Colossus already did his her effect, but he doesn't want it to stay on the field for the next turn. He's taking care that Moot doesn't have a lot of cards on the field because he doesn't have anything in hand. So it will be really hard for him if Mist manages to get some interaction on the field. Then Moot will not be able to get back into the game.
Yep, and now we have SP Little Knight that is probably going to target the Sequence because the Desiree can't be targeted. If Desiree wants to negate the SP Little Knight can just chain itself and banish it plus another card, which would then again mean that Beatrice as well would probably leave the field here with SP Little Knight together, which could mean, oh, what are we going for? Is it the Typhon?
Typhon.
Yeah, Typhon to out the entire field. There are no resources left in Moot's graveyard except for the Fairy Tale Snow, which would be very strong, I guess. You would have to banish so many cards, though. You have to banish your own Requiem. You have to banish Requiem, right? Yep, and the Beatrice from the field as well. So you keep your Desiree on the field. However, it doesn't really do too much because it can't be attached with anything anymore, right?
Well, basically, you can still go... I mean, no, you can't go through anything. But it is still a body with 2,800 attacks, so it might be something.
Yeah, but you know what? As a body with 2,900 attack and defense, it's Typhon.
Totally.
We have the Nacho Drago in the graveyard. SP Little Knight is still an interruption on the side of Mist with 2 cards in hand. Snow is returning. Desiree is sitting in defense position. And Typhon is just looking supreme here as the strongest monster on the field. Can Moot link this off and then activate Desiree? I don't even think you can activate Desiree because you have to shuffle back a card from the graveyard.
What can he do? He only has 1 card in hand, and to be frank, I think that Mist did play that really well. He managed to take everything out, and now Moot is on the play. Will he be able to destroy the monsters on Mist's side? That is the question, but for now he's just entering battle phase, getting rid of the SP, and there is only Typhoon on the side of Mist. 2 cards in hand. What can Moot do? Will he be able to bring the Telements once again on the field?
Oh, normal summon Lurie is at least a Light Fiend, so we can play around with that. I was gonna say, Telements has plenty of good top decks, like a Rhino Heart, like the Sea Mare. Now we're linking off Snow with Desiree, so that means we're not going to recycle. Oh, we're going to go for SP Little Knight. Moot, chat, are we cooked? Do we not have any resources anymore here on the side of Moot? We're sitting at 1,800 attack points here.
And it doesn't feel great because the only interaction right now on Moot's side is this SP, and I'm pretty sure that Mist has what it takes to get rid of it.
Look at the graveyard. There is a Spirit Tamer Lara in the graveyard. Yes, we can just summon out an Ulti Noccio Drago and activate the effect to special summon if Moot wants to activate SP Little Knight here. He's very much allowed to do so. There's 3 cards left in hand for Mist, and he's going to summon out the Spiritual Beast Cannahawk. What a beast! Normal summoning the Wendy as well. Just going into the battle phase, we don't even need to give the option of activating an effect. Okay, oh here, and ooh. Another monster is going to be special summoned. Ulti Tori is going to be summoned out here. And Mist just piloted through this Tier Elements deck like it was nothing in the battle phase, going for the final blow.
And this is it. Mist just won the game against Moot and showed us that he's probably the best Ritual Beast player.
Yeah, that was a huge field, and of course the Maxi has done a good job. It was stopped by Droll and Lockbird, but that also means that the Tier Element player is Droll and Lockbirded himself. And also there was another card that was less useful before. So the Maxi got missed 2 draws, which is already decent. It stopped him from extending for a little bit of time, so it was just really, really strong. The field that was put up was equally as good, but Mist just broke a big field just with Ritual Beast Engine? What is happening?
Yeah, to be honest, that was really impressive from his side. I mean, props to Moot because he had to face the Maxi. He literally managed to put some interruptions, some really cool interactions, but Mist was way too strong. Only with Engine, he managed to get rid of everything. Little by little, he started to dismantle Moot's field, and he let almost nothing on the field. And that was really impressive. We've got to say that.
And I think that also means that Dominic is now safe in the group, because I was just saying wrong things earlier, I think. I said that Dominic was already safe, but if Moot would have won here, he would have been 2-1, and then Bronus could have beaten Dominic later on, and then everyone would have been 2-1 basically out of those. But now Dominic is 2-0. There is no other player except for Bronus who can get 2 wins in that group, so that is great. But now let's hear it from Mist, who still has a chance in this tournament.
Thank you very much, Leo. I am here with Mist, who's finally managed to get one of those wins with the old reliable Ritual Beast stack. Now, you weren't using that for your other 2 duels. Why did you swap over?
Honestly, since I lost the other 2, I was kind of regretting not playing Ritual Beast, because I love the deck, so I just played it this time and it worked out.
You're arguably the greatest Ritual Beast player in the world, so why did you not start with your sort of old faithful deck? Was it because of the format? You thought, I should try this other one?
So I think that Snake Eye is a better deck, but also since Moot is kind of known in Challenger Cup for playing stun, I was worried about playing against stun. And Ritual Beast is really, really good against stun, so it felt correct.
Well, congratulations on getting your win. There is still a chance you go through, because at the moment we're still figuring out what happens with the way this grouping is going. So there's still a small chance. It'll basically be decided by this next game. And that next game is going to be Dominic versus Bronus. And we're basically going to have a quick chat with Bronus first, and then we'll get into that game.